How y'all doing today? It's Kaze. So let me try that again. How we all doing today? It's Kaze. Alright, so I had a discussion earlier today about like me and the homies were having discussions. We had interesting discussions talking about all types of stuff other than just, a lot of the times obviously we talk about girls but in some conversations, but we talk about, you know, um we talk about important things in life, the things that, will help us advance in what we're trying to do. And, we always ask, like, think about questions logically and using critical thinking to understand, like, why it is that people think this way and why people feel the way that they do whenever something happens. So, it's questioning the status quo. Why is this? Why is it called that? Why is this the way that it is? Why is this like that? How did they come with this conclusion? How did this become the normal? How did this become the consensus idea, the ideal thought, the thing to just think, the societal norm? How did this become that? And it's like we try to think of it from a logical perspective, but then we also understand that a lot of people's experiences come from, a lot of the ways that people think obviously come from their experiences. And so they were brought up thinking this way because that's the way that their parents brought them up, and their parents brought them up this way because they thought this way, and their parents thought that way. And it was a cyclical type of situation. So it was just a continuous cycle where you feed that into your children, and your children feed that into their children, and their children feed that into their children, until somebody finally just decides to think, why why is it like that? Because at some point somebody has to stop thinking about this, stop accepting the status quo, and start to figure out how they're going to make things better. Because that's the reason we get stuck in the position that we're in, or that we get into, is because this is it's what's comfortable. It's a continuous cycle of comfortability that gets us nowhere, that doesn't create change. It just continues to it just continues to grapple onto the comfortability and straggle growth and change. And I think when you start thinking, like, logically and critically, why something is the way it is, you can start to understand how best to tackle it and improve on that way of thinking, and make it into something where you can finally make a change, and you could be the change that you want to see other people put within themselves and put in in the society. And it becomes that that thing. And then we also like to talk about the stuff that we also like to talk about the stuff that we did in the past, and we bring up, and sometimes we do bring up, like, toxic people that were in our lives, and toxic behaviors that were that we didn't necessarily, maybe we exhibited, but we understood what it was that we were exhibiting, but it was exhibited around us more so, and we had to figure out a way to get away from it, to improve, to better implement our growth rather than being stuck in comfortability and toxicity. So, and the thing is, I understand where the toxicity comes from. You know, I mean, I grew up in toxicity. My friends grew up in toxicity. We all grew up in toxicity. But the difference is that we're trying to do something about it to make life better. To make life better for us, for our families, for our future generations. And the only way to do that is by seeking growth and seeking uncomfortability and seeking ways to effectively break the cycle and to not stay stuck in the stereotypical um, boxes that we're continuously put in that we don't necessarily fit in. I'm talking about me and my group that we don't necessarily fit in, you know. And a lot of the times, we'll get looked at a certain way by people that don't know us. That may be a different skin color, obviously. That may be a different skin color that may put us in that box. And obviously, people in our that are our skin color that may or may not know us, that, you know, may continue to push us out, but not necessarily push us out of the box, but not necessarily in the best of ways, in a way to laugh at us for being different, you know, in a way to